All right, we're going to be beginning our afternoon program. Now, as some of you might know, I have a daughter who's here in the audience who is in dental hygiene school. But it goes back much, much further than that. And I think we're all, with different TV programming and different things that have come up, particularly through the internet, we've become interested in our ancestry. So after some research, I was able to find this picture. And this is a picture of my grandmother, my mother's mother, who went to dental hygiene school. So Dottie Burke, I didn't even know she was called Dottie. That's an amazing thing of information. I always thought she was Dorothy. But Dottie graduated in 1928 from the Dental Dispensary, lovely name, in Rochester, New York. Now let's look a little bit deeper. This is what they looked like back in 1928 as far as... Now, who here in the audience was part of the old capping ceremony? Most of you. I remember when my daughter called me up and said, oh, there's a capping ceremony. I go, you better go. This is a part of history, the capping ceremony. Not that we've worn caps since, I think, probably the 70s, right? That was in the 80s. Which is, you know what? Even though they don't wear caps again, it's part of history, and I think it's very important. But let's go deeper into the yearbook, which was very interesting. There was an ad in the yearbook, kind of similar to what David showed in the morning. The ad is from SS White, which I think used to be a local business at one point in time. And they asked 82 years ago, would you rise above mediocrity? A lot has changed in the 82 years since my grandmother graduated from hygiene school. We spent the morning listening to the great advances in health, the nutrition, and the changes in science. It's really been an amazing 82 years in dentistry as well. There's been remarkable changes. We know that plaque causes periodontal disease. They didn't know that back then, or at least we didn't have scientific proof back then that it caused periodontal disease. Or we didn't know how to bond to teeth very well or bond to dentin. And particularly since I got out of dental school in 1989, they only started bonding to dentin since that time. They couldn't do it back in the early 80s. So again, they asked 2 years ago, would you rise above? And this is really what our answer is, balloon pants. This is our answer to now. David showed a slide about balloon pants, and I'm like, man, he stole my thunder. I had balloon pants in my lecture too. I had no idea he was putting balloon pants in there. And if you look closely at this ad, you see balloon pants. It's approved by the AAU. What the AAU is exactly, I really don't know. And also, he said that millions of these balloon pants, or at least thousands of these balloon pants, have been sold. And I kind of think to myself, why? And I was sitting back there and trying to figure out something. I know why. It's trying to get someone to blow it up for you while you're wearing it. That's the secret to balloon pants. There has to be, you can't put it on and blow it. It must be you put it on at the gym and you go, excuse me, can you blow this up for me? That has to be the secret to balloon pants, why people sell them. It's the inflation. That's the important part of balloon pants. So, let's move on here. We are definitely in the great information age. It's so easy. Say in the 80s, if you wanted to get certain type of information, the lengths that you had to go to get that information, it was nearly a challenge to get information. But now it's just a couple clicks. But are we in the great information age, or are we in the great misinformation age? It kind of goes hand in hand, one thing with the other. We have emails, of course. We have reps that are sitting out there in the crowd that come present information to us. We have RDH magazine or journals. We have Twitter. I've never Twittered or tweeted or tooted, whatever it is, but there's Twitter. There's study clubs like we have, or courses like we have. Do you guys remember this one that was at the Grand Marquis? What a freaking disaster that one was. Oh God, people were getting tickets. That was a bad. We've improved on that. Every year we have it, we learn something for the next year. Although this one seems to be running very, very well, if I have to say so myself. Also, we have blogs. I haven't blogged either, but there's blogging. And there's blogging like this Amy RDH type thing that I think is a big dental hygiene blog. But then there is one source of information that is greater than all sources of information. And I guess you guys all know the answer to this one, right? Oprah. Oprah is the greatest source of information. Oh, Oprah is godlike. Let's move on. Really, with all these sources of information, what should we believe? What should we believe? It's difficult. It's a difficult question. How can we put this information that we're thrown in front of us all the time, how can we break it down to figure out what really we should believe? And that's what we're going to go into a little bit today. And the answer is, and it might seem like a strange word, is to become a skeptic. A skeptic is something unique. It's application of reason to different ideas and to any and all ideas. That is what a skeptic is. A skeptic is different. It's a method. It's a method that we apply. We've heard the word skeptical. We've heard of different words like cynical. It's different. Skeptic and cynic are two different things. Grumpy, right? This is Grumpy, was a cynic. Grumpy said, oh, that's not going to work. That can't happen. What a cynic basically is someone that's presented with something and feels that the person presenting it has an ulterior motive. That's a cynic. That everything, all information, there's an ulterior motive behind. That's a cynic. Different than that great character in fiction, Doc, from Snow White in the Seven Dwarfs. Doc was a skeptic. Doc would say, let's see if Snow White has a heartbeat. Let's see what we can do. I'm positive Doc is the one that came up with the song Hi Ho, Hi Ho. It wasn't Grumpy, it was Doc that came. And another thing, where do you go for medical school if you're a dwarf? I really don't know. There's got to be a special medical school for Doc. And Doc is going to kind of be our mascot as we go through the day. A skeptic only needs to have one thing, and that thing is the ability to ask the right questions. That is all a skeptic needs to know. And we're going to go through is what are those questions. It's a very simple method to go through the questions. The first question is, how reliable is the source of the information that's being presented to you? What is that source? Who's putting this out there for you? That's important to know because is the source of the information or claim independent or sponsored? Sponsored is that someone pays to have that information put out there, or someone pays for the research that is being done. That is the question. That is the source of the information, if it's reliable or not. Of course, it's always less reliable if it's being paid for or sponsored by someone else. And what form can that information or claim take? Is it a case report? And what a case report is, and this is my work, and I've presented this, is case report is, this is before, and this is what I did after. That's a case report. It's like before and after show and tell.